Hello students. So in this video, right, we'll talk about what is this new pattern of JEE mains examination for the 2021 and how we need to plan our preparation so that we can maximize the score in view of this new pattern. Okay. So first, if you look at what are the big changes that we are seeing from the previous years is that students this year will be given option to take up to a maximum of 4 attempts, because in year 2020 we had 2 attempts, and for this year, right, students will be given a maximum of 4 attempts that they can attempt. And even we are seeing a partial choice type of questions that will be there in one of the subsections. So we'll discuss about it, but these are the two major changes that are proposed. One is we have increased number of attempts for the students, which will help in reducing the stress levels of the students, because now they can attempt the exam in a more relaxed mindset. And also, if for some reason, due to the clash of the dates with the respective board exams, may not be exact clash, but even like say if in a particular week we are having the board exams for board like maybe Tamil Nadu or Andhra or Telangana. So if in that week itself the JEE mains is coming, maybe we can omit that attempt and plan to take the other 3. So there is a kind of an option for students to choose how many number of attempts they want to give. They can give 1 attempt, they can give 2 attempts, they can give 3, or they can, if possible, they can give all the 4 also. And with regard to the partial choice, right, the rationale that is provided by the NTA is that since this year some of the boards, they have gone for a reduction in terms of syllabus. Like if you look at the CBSE, at least in things like chemistry, they have omitted some chapters itself. Okay. And even in some of the topics, right, like they are not going to focus on certain subsections. So that will not be uniform across the boards. While CBSE might have omitted some topics, the other boards might have omitted different set of topics. So considering this issue of not having a uniformity across the syllabus that is being omitted, what they have proposed is to come up with this partial, choice kind of a scheme. So we'll talk about what is this partial choice kind of a scheme, but the idea behind this is to provide some kind of a question for students, where if some of the topics are not being covered in their respective board preparation, they could possibly leave those questions and attempt the remaining. Okay, so that is what is the rationale behind giving this partial choice scheme with regard to this new pattern. So we'll discuss in detail about it. So first, what we'll do is we'll begin with this test pattern. So test pattern, this year we are having each of these subjects, math or physics and chemistry, divided into 2 sections, section A and section B. Section A will have 20 questions in each of the subjects, and these will be MCQ type of questions, multiple choice questions. Okay. Section B is the numerical type. So in section B, we will be given 10 questions, but out of that we can attempt any 5. So out of the 10 questions given, so this is where we have the choice. So in the MCQ type of questions, there is no choice. But in section B of each subject, which is the numerical type, we will have a choice. Out of 10, we have to attempt 5. Now there have been some queries, because this is the exact wording that is being given in the NTA bulletin. But there have been some queries already raised by students as to how they would execute it, because even in our board exams, right, we'll have this a subsection wise choice system. In that, say for example, we have to attempt 2 out of 4. If a student is attempting 3 questions, then what usually the examiners will do is they will take whichever 2 questions are getting higher marks, because in board examination we'll have like partial marking, etc., etc. But here what could happen is, because we'll have to still wait for the final mock test that they would release based on the new pattern, what could happen is in the section B, it will allow us to type in only 5 of the responses. That's what they could do. Like we may not be allowed to attempt 6, 7 or 8 questions or 9 questions or 10 questions, because they will allow us to only attempt 5 out of 10. So that is what they could do. Okay, so when they say we have to attempt 5 out of 10 means we need to choose whatever the 5 that you are like very confident, very sure, and go and mark them. maybe what they would do in terms of their backend system is they will allow us to attempt only 5. So if you want to type in the answer for the 6th question, right, it might not allow. That is what they could do, and we'll of course have to wait for the mock test that they will release on their platform to see how this partial choice scheme in the section B will work out. Okay, but this is what is. So the choice at least in section B will provide a question for the students, because if they have certain topics not being covered in their respective boards, they can omit those questions and probably take up the other ones. But again, here there are already some concerns raised by students. Why not in section A? Because at least in section B, right, it's as we see, the section B will not have any negative marking, but section A will have negative marking. So we look at the marking scheme also for the section A, right, which is the MCQs. The marking scheme is for every correct answer we will get +4. Unanswered, or if you are marking a question for review, means it will be 0. So if you give an incorrect answer, we will have a negative marking, -1. But whereas in section B, that is the numerical section where we have the this partial choice for this year, correct answer will give us +4, but incorrect answer will not give any negative mark. Okay, this section does not have any negative marking, and in this section only we are having the choice system. But probably it could have helped more to students if they would have had a choice in both the sections, if not at least in section A. Why? Because section A is the one where we have the negative marking. Okay, but having said that, this is what they have gone ahead and given to us in terms of the pattern of the examination, and we need to see how we can prepare ourselves best for this kind of pattern. So while we have the choice given, the maximum marks is going to still remain the same, because for the section A, each correct will get us +4, and section B, out of 10 we'll have to attempt only 5, means each correct will give us 4. So totally we'll have 25 questions that we can attempt maximum in each subject. So 25 into 4 is what? 100. So each subject is going to be having a maximum mark 100, that will give us a maximum score of 300. So the maximum score will not be changing, and we will be still attempting only 75 questions in that 3 hours or 180 minutes. So in that 180 minutes time, we will be attempting that same 75 questions. So it will not be a burden in terms of answering more questions in that given stipulated time. Okay, and we'll have per se we'll have in that question paper 90 questions, but out of that we'll be attempting only 75. Okay, so this is about the change in terms of the pattern of the examination. Now coming to the number of attempts, right, to make sure that the number of attempts or the dates that are given are not clashing with the board examinations across various states, they have staggered it over a period of 4 months. So this will again help students in terms of not only just attempting the 4 attempts, but also plan their attempt. Like say for example, if I take up first attempt and I am not able to get a good score, imagine, then I can possibly look at what is the kind of an improvisation plan that I can put in place to give a better performance in March. If that is also not working, I can plan for the April. So this time that is there, typically if you look at the February attempt, they are given us the date from 22nd to 25th February. So which means the other March or April or May attempts also might happen almost at the same time, which is like the end of the month. So we'll have for each attempt we will be having typically like a month's time. So it will be good enough time where students can plan their preparation and try to improvise their score, and it will also as per the NTA expectation remove the possible year drop for the students, because we see that students, they feel that if there are only 2 attempts, they were not able to give the best in the 2 attempts and they want to take a year drop to go for the JEE mains again. But now that we are having 4 attempts, right, ideally if a student is sincere in terms of the preparation, they should be able to really bring their best in these 4 possible attempts. So we have 4 attempts which are staggered across the 4 months, February to May. And coming to the merit list, because we are having 4 attempts, if a student is taking 1 attempt, or if a student is taking 2 attempts, if a student is taking 3 attempts, the best of the NTA scores. So for each of the attempts, the student will have an NTA score. The best of the NTA scores means, if I have taken 3 attempts. In that, I have got an NTA score which is maximum in my second attempt. So that is going to be considered for the preparation of the final merit list or the ranking. Okay, so it is not average basis. So students need not have to get worried that okay, if I am giving 4 attempts, would they average out my score? It is not the average scheme. It is the best of the attempts. So we can be clear that we will have to ensure that out of, if I am taking all the 4 means, I need to bring in my best in these 4 attempts. So the possibility of, say for example, we do really pathetic or bad in 1 attempt, we don't need to worry about it. So because we'll have to always think for when our best attempt is going to come. Okay, so this is about the scheme for the preparation of the merit list in terms of the NTA scores. We are not getting into the details of how they will make the NTA scores and all that, because that is more of an academic exercise, but our focus should be on what? To get the maximum score. So in the 4 attempts given to us, we'll have to make our preparation in such a way that we'll get the maximum score. The rest of it is all academic exercise, how they will prepare the NTA score and all the things. Okay, so this is about the new pattern. And coming to the most important thing, yes, they are giving us the increased number of attempts. They are giving us 4 attempts, correct? And they are also giving us at least subsection wise they are giving us the choices. Now the point is, how do we maximize our score in terms of this new scheme? So we can say generically, like, you can attempt the examination in more relaxed mindset and all these things, but ultimately the point is what? Can I get improvised score based on that? Because even NTA, based on their data, right, they are saying that the students who are able to take multiple number of attempts, they are able to show considerable improvement across the examination that they have proposed based on the mock test that students are taking on their NTA Abhyasya. Okay, but the point is, we also now have 4 attempts which are staggered over 4 months, which means we'll have ample time. Starting from the February attempt, we'll have ample time to prepare and make sure that we'll have a plan which will give us improvised scores for each and every subsequent attempt. So we can, after every attempt, right, we can look at what are the possible areas where we have gone wrong, or what are the possible areas where we were not able to attempt the questions. And before we come for the next attempt, right, we can try and give more emphasis on those areas and go for it. And then also, if after the second attempt also we are able to see still there are some topics where we are not that much confident, so we can spend a little bit more time in those areas, because the areas where we are not so much certain, right, will narrow down. Because first attempt we will have like probably more number of areas where we are not confident. We'll give more focus on these subset. When we go for the second attempt, the number of areas where we are not sure will be getting a little bit lesser. So the uncertain or unsure topics, right, will be narrowing down as we keep on giving more number of attempts. So we can have a clear strategy or plan in terms of improvising our score from each and every attempt. It is not like generally, okay, I'm going and giving first attempt, then I'm going and giving blindfolded second attempt, not like that. We can have a strategy so that, say for example, before I hit the February, because hardly we are having what, maybe around a little bit 2 months. So I will try to ensure that in +1 and +2, all the areas where I am little bit more confident as of now, like say in +2 I am good with everything except maybe EMI in physics, or electrochemistry in chemistry, or maybe indefinite integration in math. So maybe you can just park these topics for some time and focus on the rest of the syllabus and go and give the first attempt, so that you will be clear in terms of whatever the areas that you are thorough, how much you are able to bring out in terms of the score. Then for the next attempt, right, you can focus more on these left out topics, so that way you can plan. Of course, I'm just giving you one example of how you can plan your preparation, but I mean, it depends on person to person. Maybe some of you might have been already good in terms of the entire syllabus preparation, so you'll have to plan accordingly. But there has to be a strategy which will work in improving your score from attempt to attempt. Okay, and in terms of the focus that we give for the syllabus, right, because there is obviously going to be a discrepancy in terms of the coverage of syllabus across the boards in different states. The people who are setting up the paper, they also might, I mean, this is just what we are thinking, but it may come out true most likely, and sometimes it may not reflect that much. But what the expectation is, we could have more focus on the 11th syllabus. So might be like we'll get 55% of the questions might come from the +1 syllabus. So standing here, we can give little bit more focus on the 11th and 12th, right? Maybe some boards have omitted some topics and some boards might have omitted some other topics, but the core topics people would not omit. Like if you talk about say the idea of differentiation and applications of derivatives, or integration and applications of integration, all these are what the core topics. These core topics will not be omitted. Similarly in physics, right? Maybe the fringe chapters like semiconductors, communication systems, okay, fringe chapters might get omitted, but the core topics, electrostatics or current electricity or magnetism, they will not get omitted. Similarly, chemistry also, you may have maybe a polymers or chemistry in everyday life or biomolecules like that, or a metallurgy or even surface chemistry. The fringe chapters might get omitted, but the core topics, right, which are your organic chemistry, the groups part of it, inorganic chemistry, which is our D and F block, P block, and then the coordination compounds, and the core physical chemistry, which is our electrochemistry part of it, and the chemical kinetics, solutions, solid state, they might not get omitted. Okay, so you can give more emphasis on the core topics of the +2, because usually they would not get omitted. Okay, and the thing is, we have subsection wise choice system in the section B, but the point is, if I need to maximize score, I need to ensure that in that subsection I should not be going any question wrong. Of course, if you even go wrong in a question, you are not going to get a negative mark. But the thing is what? It's like you are losing out on a free hit ball. Because in cricket, right, typically when you are getting a free hit, you will not get out on that. Okay. But the point is, you should try to maximize it, right? So we need to ensure that in that numerical questions, while at the time of our preparation stage itself, we should have higher accuracy. So that if I am attempting 5 questions, all 5 should more or less get correct for me, because now we are going to have a choice, right? Out of 10 I am going to pick 5. I should be able to get all the 5 correct. At least that is how we need to practice these numerical questions. Okay, we should ensure that there is a choice. But if you are not able to attempt with better accuracy, if our thing is like I am attempting 5 questions and in that I am getting 3 correct or 2 correct, then that is not going to really help our cause. So from the preparation time itself, we should try to ensure higher accuracy in this numerical section, so that we will be able to get the best out of this choice system that is given. Okay, so this is the kind of a plan that you can have in terms of approaching based on this new pattern. Okay, and for the students who are going to take the examination in 2022, because probably some of the current standard 11th students also might be watching this video, for them, right, there is no guarantee that the same scheme is going to be available for the next year as well. Okay, so it might happen that we may have the same kind of an subsection wise choice system, and number of attempts might remain the same, because now that they have proposed, they are going to, in fact, in one of the informal discussions, they are trying to talk along the lines of a GRE or a TOEFL, where students can take the examination at multiple times. Like you can fix up a date and you can go and take the examination. So probably they are viewing in that direction, but that might not happen. The number of attempts, 4, will remain the same. It may even increase. You should not be surprised. But this partial or the subsection wise choice system, right, may or may not remain the same, or we might have a different kind of a choice system also, or we might not have for the 2022. Okay, so that we should not be able to stretch for the next year. But this is the idea that we need to keep in terms of attempting the JEE 2021. Hope this is useful, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. All the best for the preparation.